Good morning. Today I'm back in my Joy of Art journal because, well, I'll let you see how this evolved. The day before yesterday I was in my Etsy packing papers drawer and I found this bit of corrugated, very flimsy and soft, but corrugated, and I thought, I never use things like this, and I do like it when other people do. Why don't you give it a try, Carol? So that went in the back of my mind. And this morning, I decided to go and rip off this bit, and then I remembered that I had these pieces, which are copies of my learning pieces in mixed media from maybe 3 years ago, or plus, maybe 4. And then I remembered that I had, well, you know the story. I went into my stash and found this baby, and I thought, well, now, good, Carol, we're going to save this until it ends up in a scrap heap someplace. So here it is. And then I remembered that I had these inchies. Now, when I was completely naive about mixed media, these were probably one of my first purchases. I had no idea what they were for, but I loved them. And so they have been sitting waiting for me to cut them up, which I did today. That's probably 4 years. I'm the epitome of slow learner. I went into my stash and found these 2 bits of handmade paper. So this is the overall plan of the piece. I have taken a picture of it so that I know the various pieces that go on each page, and now I'm going to remove them because I want to use some of the paints that you see there. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Why, Carol? Well, Carol had a reason. A few years ago I had these and I used them, and they are sold as a watercolor. They're hardly watercolor as far as I'm concerned because they're so chalky. I think they're more in the gouache category. And I gave them to a friend whose child was starting to paint. And then I realized that there are certain colors in here that really are good to have. That's these. That's 8. That's these 10. So I saw it again for $5, and these 10 were available to me again. So live and learn. I've also gotten out my second tier watercolor brushes, and I want to put a little bit of color on this page. Not too much and not too much water, but you will see that it does serve a lovely background purpose. And a little more over here. This is certainly epitomizing less is more. but it is taking off some of the, it's taking away some of the white, which is a good thing. There we go. And now down here, just a little bit more color. A little bit more of that over here. Just see what's on the other side. Oh yes, okay, this can handle it. So maybe just a little bit of this darker one down here. And I think the mission will be accomplished. Now the next shades here are really shades of gray, which was the absolute reason that I replaced this. There we go. Let me get a little bit closer so that you can see what has happened on that page. A nice, light, chalky background, which of course is now going to need some drying. And then after drying, I'm going to have a think. I think I know what I want to put as the second layer. I'm just not 100% yet. I'll be back. Well, I used my better brushes and some Grumbacher. This is my Grumbacher Basic Paints palette, and I decided to just put down some very loose and expressive leaf vines using my silver black velvet number 8 brush, because it does hold so much water. It's such a pleasure. You can put on so many leaves. That the process is made more fun that way. I don't want these leaves to be thought about too much, worried over, which I'm good for. just something to give a little bit of a background to the collage bits. That is one load of pigment and water. And this is good to the last drop. Nice sharp point when necessary. Just a bit more up here. Now I'm thinking that was becoming a little bit too monochromatic, so maybe just a bit of another shade in here and there. That's better. All right, that's better. And I'm going to finish up this bit and dry this, and then I'm going to attach my bits of collage, and we'll see where we are. Well, this of course is my absolute very favorite time on any piece. Time to give some TLC and see what I can do to the embellishments. I'm using, of course, my Le Pen brown, which is a nice fine point and a nice deep brown shade. I do like the way these leaves are peeking through. So, and when you see the entire picture, it does that little tiny bit of effort and fun certainly makes a difference between these and these. So I'm going to, rather than have you watch me do the same thing over and over again, I'm going to do the same thing to these sprays and have a think while I'm at it. I have been spending some time playing while I was waiting for this glue to dry down. I used some of my Stays-On Timber Brown around the perimeter of these pages, and I used my Le Pen Brown to add a few penned on or doodled on leaves just to fill up, because I thought this area needed a little bit more, and a little bit more down here. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of this Uniball gold pen in here to add a little bit of color to those. And I have decided that I'm going to add just a little bit of a line around the outside of these pieces of collage. I don't want it to be too pronounced, and it certainly isn't, but it's there. This piece of paper is rather heavy weight, and the gold is a very, I think it's a very fine glitter, but I'm not sure. I'm just wondering. I really do wonder what it's made from. It doesn't have any tendency to come off. It seems to be quite attached. And I'll just add a little bit right here at the edge of this. And I'm thinking that I might add some more gold. Just a little addition. The gold ink comes out of this pen very nicely, very easily, but I'm afraid that when it dries it loses a little bit of its pizzazz, but it's okay. This has been so much fun, and I have enjoyed using these various papers to create a collage story completely abstract collage story, actually. Yes, I'll put some in here too, since I did it over on the other side. Oops. Now, I'm believing that this is saying all that I want to for this one. Let's have a good close-up look. The so-called watercolor gouache background did add a little bit of coloration that I'm quite happy with. And I'm loving the way the leaves show through this lattice. And I'm glad that I was able to use one of my own bits of art. And the gold uniball is showing nicely over there. And oh my, isn't that just lush paper, and it is almost impossible to tear. I have to start it with a cut with a scissor, and then it will begin, but it is the strongest paper. And my corrugated board that I had not ever used before, and I'm loving it. And now I think I will date this over here. If you have enjoyed watching the evolution of this page, I would certainly appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with a friend, and I would certainly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. Bye now.